Welcome back to another review. This one is brought to you by Fat Rat Trading, which is a gun and outdoors store in Kilmore, Victoria. I go there all the time. It's my local shop. I asked my boys to give them a shout out, seeing as, you know, I buy my stuff from there and they're pretty good blokes. So if you're in central Victoria and you want a good gun shop to go hit up the boys at Fat Rat. And I'm just going to whack this sticker just down here in the corner. Today I'm going to be talking about my new deer rifle, as you probably have already seen from looking at the thumbnail. What I have here is a Sturm Ruger M77 in 7mm Rem Mag. It is a beautiful, beautiful rifle. I picked this up from Fat Rat for $800, I believe it was. It did have a Tasco with the original scope rings, and it was a Tasco fixed 6 times sight. I believe back in the 80s they were selling this rifle with that matched as a combo, if my research serves me correctly. So what is an M77? I'll just touch on that really quickly. Here's a little bit of history. The M77 was designed after the Winchester Model 70, which everyone probably knows as being one of the greatest hunting rifles of the 20th century. What they did though is they had the pre-64 model and the post-64 model. Post-64 model changed the way they built it, which changed a few little features, and not many people, or not a lot of people really liked the post-64. The pre-64 is sort of the premium rifle, if you will. Ruger took a few of the good things about the pre-64 and kept them into this rifle and added their own little Ruger-isms. So it is a very, very nice rifle. It is a Mauser Action, and let's just run over some features of this rifle because I fucking love this rifle. I think it is absolutely fantastic. So, starting from the muzzle, we have a banded front sight, so this whole thing, as opposed to being welded on to the barrel and or screwed into the barrel, it is banded on, so band all the way around. Has a high front sight with a brass bead. It has a very thin barrel. This does overheat very quickly. If you fire 4 rounds in quick succession, it's going to be pretty bloody hot to the touch. We have a fold-up express sight at the back, very, a la safari rifle. It can be zeroed, so you have adjustments for elevation. This one is already zeroed for 100 meters, and that's how it was. I fired it to test it, and it is 100% on the money. So obviously that can be folded down or folded up as your heart desires. I'll give you a close-up of this. The rear sight has, you can see on the right there, little tiny adjustments, but it has a big white diamond just below the notch, so that when you shoulder the rifle and go to fire iron sights, it does make it very easy to find where your rear sight is. So all you really have to do, out of the shoulder, it generally lines up straight away, and you just put the diamond just below the target, and you're going to whack it. So I do like that. The bluing on this is exceptional. If you've seen a rifle that's been blued lately, it's probably a matte bluing. This is the old school, nice, bright, shiny bluing, which I absolutely adore. Going back, we have our signature Ruger dovetail mounts. Now, when I bought this, I wanted to put a scope on it, so I went and bought a set of worn scope rings, which are labelled as M77 and Hawkeye. They do not fit this rifle because it's a original Tang Safety model. And so they only fit Ruger M77 Mark IIs and Hawkeyes. So if you do have a Mark I, don't buy those scope rings because it won't fit. What I did end up buying was some Alaska Arms ones, which I'll get into in a second. Receiver is, if you look at the receiver of a Model 70, it's been slightly modified from that. It's a little bit lighter, not as bulky. We do have a very similar bolt. The bolt is very nice, and because it's so old, it is very, very slick. This rifle, I looked at the serial number, looked it up on Ruger, and the serial number puts this rifle, get the fuck in. So the serial number puts this rifle being made in 1984, so it is very old, well, very old. when you think about how old that actually is, that would make it, quick maths, that would make it a 36-year-old, no, 37-year-old gun. When you think 37 years, well, that's a fair while ago. But then when you say, oh, 1984, you're like, oh yeah, that was about 2 years ago. So yeah, it's seen some stuff. It does have a internal box mag, which has a release lever here. So there's your internal mag there with your plate. That's an aluminium plate at the bottom there, so it saves some weight there. It can hold 4, however, only 3 will go in the mag. The 4th one you can put in the top, and then you have to sort of, hold down the 3rd round in the mag and then put the bolt forward. Can be a bit of a pain in the ass. It's technically, realistically, it's a 3-round gun, but you can get 4 into it, so that's pretty good. The best feature I like about this is the tang safety, which is on the back here. Now the newer ones, the Mark IIs and the Hawkeyes, have it up here on the bolt. So if you're shouldered, ready to fire, and you go, oh, yep, got to get off safe, you have to remove your master hand, your shooting hand, away from the rifle, change your safety, and then bring your hand back. Whereas a tang safety, you literally can just move it with your thumb, because your thumb is already in this position for firing. Whether you fire side grip or over the top grip, either way, a tang safety is right there ready to go. So I do love that. One thing the safety does do is it locks your bolt as well, which is a good feature. So if you're carrying it around slung, you can't accidentally, open your bolt, lose a round, etc. As soon as it's on fire, the bolt can move, and you can also fire the action. The trigger breaks very nicely. That is a 4.5 pound trigger, but it feels like it's about a 2 pound trigger. Just the way it breaks is amazing. There is absolutely no creep in it. It just, you apply the pressure and it just breaks. So it's a very, very nice trigger. So the stock is obviously very battered because it's had a long life of presumably shooting deer. So originally the stock would have been, a very nice stock. It is very slender. It does fit my hand very nicely. I do like it. However, it does have a lot of wear marks. Has the signature Ruger red butt pad, which gives you fuck all in the way of recoil reduction. So being a 7mm, it does kick a bit, but it's a man's gun and you just got to take it. So that's the rifle. Now, what I paired this with is a Leupold. We have here a Leupold VX3i, 3.5 to 10 by 50. So I wanted this rifle to be my sort of medium to long range game rifle. So I got the Leupold. They retail for roughly $1,100-ish, give or take. I got this off eBay secondhand for $500. So that's an absolute fucking score. Now, this is designed to fit with the Ruger Dovetail little system thing here. Now, these they're not as straightforward as my pivot mounts. However, pivot mounts for this rifle are about $550, not including the postage. So Trade Optics can fucking suck me off. That's a bit too much money for my liking. But these just go straight on. They just have the normal turn, little buckle things on the inside. And it does return to 0. It has a quarter MOA guarantee. Quarter MOA is pretty bloody good, so 1/4 inch. If you go quarter MOA at 400 meters is 1 inch. So it's pretty good. The thing that is a little bit annoying with this being a 50mm aperture is my cheek weld. If I cheek weld correctly, it's obviously there's no comb on this rifle, so it's set up for irons. I'm a little bit low, so I do have to raise my head a bit. But it's not a massive drama for me. Another thing is I would like to have my head further back, but because of, I can't move this back any further because of how the dovetails are set up, I do have to creep forward a little bit. However, I still get a very good stretch of eye relief. I'm not going to scope myself, so therefore I'm not really too worried. The cool thing about this scope, I should probably touch on that a little bit more. The cool thing about the Leupold scope is this one is set up for CDS, which is custom dial system. So this dial at the top, it's an MOA dial you can just turn. However, you can get one laser cut for your ammunition. So once I figure out what ammo this rifle likes and what I want to use and the projectiles I want to use and all that sort of stuff, I can send all my data in, what range is zeroed at, my altitude, or average altitude, what I hunt, ammunition, muzzle velocity, all that sort of stuff. and they will laser cut a dial to suit that rifle. So instead of being just in MOA and you've got to have a data card and go, okay, that's 600 meters, that's this many clicks, then you would have them laser etched into meter numbers, and you go, okay, laser, that target's at 600 meters, turn that till it hits 6, you're at 600 meters, put the duplex on the target, pull the tit, and you've killed yourself a target. So that was the main thing I wanted out of this scope. So I'm pretty happy with that. That will be an addition once I start doing some shooting with this.
Holy shit. Took the fuck out of me.
Shooting wise, this is very nice to shoot. As I said before, the barrel does heat up very quickly, so when I was zeroing, I did have to wait a fair while in between rounds. Being 7mm, it does recoil a fair bit, but it's not a disgusting amount of recoil. Like shooting from the standing position, fucking awesome. It just feels like, to me, it just feels like a 308. From the bench, it does kick a bit, and you do get a bit of barrel flip, and especially off a bipod. And if it was in a sled, it would be a bit easier. But it's not unmanageable. You know, it's not up in the realms of 375 H&H or 416 Rigby's or 458s, which do fucking kick the shit out of you. It's not uncomfortable to shoot, and you can happily put through a box of ammo in an afternoon or in a short session even, and not have too many dramas from it. So there you go. That's my new ultimate deer hunting rifle for now. I'm happy the season is starting again. Not that we really have close seasons, but it's getting colder. So I'm going to go out and start smacking some deer, and I'll see if I can bag a couple of sambar this year with this rifle. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Hooroo.